On the 24th day of the same month, the Israelites gathered together, fasting and wearing sackcloth and putting dust on their heads. They confessed their sins and the sins of their ancestors, and read from the book of the law of the Lord their God for a quarter of the day. Standing on the stairs of the Levites were Jeshua, Bani, Kadmiel, Shebaniah, Bunni, Sherebiah, Bani, and Kenani. They cried out with loud voices to the Lord their God, who is from everlasting to everlasting. The Lord God saw the suffering of their ancestors in Egypt and sent signs and wonders against Pharaoh, his officials, and the people of his land. You made a name for yourself, which remains to this day. You divided the sea before them, so they passed through it on dry ground, but you hurled their pursuers into the depths, like a stone into mighty waters. You led them with a pillar of cloud and by night with a pillar of fire to give them light on the way they were to take. You came down on Mount Sinai and spoke to them from heaven. You gave them regulations, laws, decrees, and commands that were just and right, and made known your holy Sabbath and gave them commands, decrees, and laws through your servant Moses. You provided them with bread from heaven and water from the rock, and told them to take possession of the land you had sworn with uplifted hand to give them. However, their ancestors became arrogant and stiff-necked, refusing to obey your commands. They refused to listen and failed to remember the miracles you performed among them. They appointed a leader to return to their slavery, but you are a forgiving God, gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. You did not desert them, even when they cast an image of a calf and committed awful blasphemies. You gave them kingdoms and nations, allotting them even the remotest frontiers. They took over the country of Sihon king of Heshbon and the country of Og king of Bashan. You made their children as numerous as the stars in the sky, and they took possession of the land. You subdued the Canaanites, gave them the land, and they captured fortified cities and fertile land. However, they rebelled against you, killed your prophets, and committed awful blasphemies. You delivered them into the hands of their enemies, but you continued to be patient with them. You remained righteous and acted faithfully while we acted wickedly.